Hello there and welcome back to Satisfactory. Yes, we're back on Satisfactory once again, going to be continuing our single player playthrough on 1.1. So, if you went here last time, we had finished off the high-speed connector factory. It is finally done and completed. Hooray for us. Yeah, that one is finally done. Everything's being uploaded. The sink is connected. Everything's belted. The sides are on. All that beautiful stuff. So, yes. I'm happy to move on from that. So today's plan is to finish off the grasslands loop, or at least try to get a bit into it, and we'll see how far we get with the bridges and the rails and stuff. So let's go ahead and get on into it. Let's go. Alrighty then, and here we are back in Lagtastic Town, ready to continue building the grasslands loop that we need to finish because we're out of space for factories. We need more space. So yeah, again, pretty awesome for this factory. I'm pretty I'm pretty happy with it relatively. I'm not really happy with the top, but I don't really have time to argue necessarily. So a few things that have happened in between episodes. Obviously, we finished the base so that I could get the thumbnail shot for last episode. But yeah, the thumbnail base has been finished, or the factory base has been finished, as well as I'm out of power. But I got that finished and now everything is being made. I did turn off the sinks for all four of these factories that are sitting out here. So all four of them factories have been, the sinks have been turned off so that we stop using so much product. The other thing is, I did spend some time over at the plastics factory, making sure that it ran pretty steady until all the trains filled back up, because the chains were filling up about halfway or so with plastic, coming all the way out here, dropping the entire load off, being completely empty all the way back, and then, and it's just a vicious cycle because the plastic is it's not working the way I set it up. So I'm gonna have to rethink that a little bit for temporary sake. Basically what I'm thinking is probably we'll build like a little offshoot kind of temporary building sitting off to the side of the plastic factory, or maybe we'll put it on the roof or something. Maybe put it on the roof, yeah. And we'll send plastic up there, overflow plastic we'll send up there, as well as we'll send all of our heavy oil up there as well, so that it gets sunk into, or gets turned into packaged heavy oil and then gets sunk from there. Basically feed it back into the sinks. There we go. Okay, make sure it's all green, or all the same color. Yep, and it's not continuing past. This is good. Alrighty, so now that we got our first little slope, gonna go ahead and really emphasize the P on that one, didn't I? We won't do that. Go ahead and put this down, and this should line up. If this doesn't line up perfectly centered, I'm going to be mad. Be like, okay, we got to change the angle of this sucker, Alright, perfect. Just like that. But yeah, that's how I put the slopes together. The reason I have these things on either end is so that I can do one single slope, or I can do two. I can do two slopes. It doesn't matter. I'll still connect it, and then what I'll do is I'll just remove the inner one, or the inner two, I should say. Inner two. And we'll grab foundations. We got to change this back to grit metal because we're going to be building these for a while. And then autosave freeze. There we go. Okay, perfect. Oh, right, I removed these entirely, didn't I? Right. Okay, and then this is pretty easy enough. We run that like that, hit the H key, nudge it down one. Done. Then do that for the next set. Done, down. Then we take these and we continue these little underglow lightings. Yeah, these don't quite connect. Yeah, so we'll make them connect. There we go. And then once we're done with that, we can go blueprints. I lost all my bridges. It's really sad, actually. Well, you know what? We'll just go to this side. Hit F key, change the blueprint mode, middle click. And then we can place these. We're going to keep them off of blueprint mode because otherwise they'll snap in weird ways. Okay, perfect. And then what we'll do is we'll just take this and turn to freeform mode. Wait, do I get rid of these two, I think. Well, I don't have to get rid of both of them. I can just get rid of the one. Just get rid of the one so that we can connect it properly. Yeah, so we want... no! Damn it. I want this one! Give me... There we go. Turn it back to freeform. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, I need that one specifically. Because the angle's perfect. Okay, so those are now connected. Then before we do any beam connectors, we'll grab this. Go this way with it. And it should be 22.89. Go to this side. Oh, wait. Whoops. My bad. Yeah, I should probably connect this. Inspect to default mode. Should be, yep, 12 meters. Also, I should probably be doing it off of this instead. Yeah, because those beam connectors are not exactly where I need them all the time. There we go. And then we go from here. Like this. Nudge it up one. I go across. There we go. And now we can go back to freeform mode. Like that. There we go. Okay. Then put in our beam connectors. Just nudge this over. It's going to be weird about it no matter what I do, so. Like, fine. Be weird about it then. Stupid connectors. Nudge this one up. Oh. That's right. Oh, wait. Do we... Just do this. Okay, so that works for there, and then I'll just slap a beam connector in there to kind of reconnect that back up. Dip in the outside. And then freeze. And then place. And then place. Okay, that should have... I should have the beam connector stuff done. Oh, not quite. Need one there. And one there. Okay. Then the last thing is the lights. Throw a light there. Then what I'll do is I'll do this. Nudge it over to the center, nudge it into the center of that, nudge it down, hold control, nudge it back up. Oh, you could hold control, nudge it down one. It doesn't really matter. Okay, did I put beam connectors in these? I don't think I did. No, because they directly sit on it, so. Okay, and then last ones. Need to make sure we go with the slope. These bridges are so expensive. And there we go. So basically we just do that, and then I think we'll go up. Should we go up another set so that we're actually a decent ways off the ground? I think we should. I'll go up one more bridge set of these, and then we'll keep going straight, and basically until we hit either that cliff over there or something, and where we need to curve. That's basically how I put these together. Alrighty then, working our way down the the grasslands here. So we've got these two bridges that go up, and then we've got a couple of straight pieces here. These are just simple. And then trying to decide where the corner was the most difficult, but I did manage to get that done. And once again, I will show you how to do corners with this style of bridge. As well. So one of the way you do this, there's a couple different ways you can do this. Unfortunately, or I shouldn't say, I guess unfortunately, when it comes to the let's see if we go over here to architecture, I forget the name of the catwalks. When it comes to the catwalks actually, a lot of people think they're 10 degree. They're actually, or 5 degree. They're actually 10 degree. If you put this down here, as you can see, and then I go to basically you go to aim it at this edge, but then you hold control. If we go to put this here, look, see, it's actually 10 degrees, not 5. This what I put down here is actually 10 degree, and I'll show you how to build that. But yeah, see, it's actually 10 degree when you go to that one. So it's actually a 10 degree corner, not a 5 degree one, as well. But I'll show you how to build these. So the way you build this, and I'll go over here. So let's say I wanted to continue this corner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take foundation width, my desired width, or my desired thickness. It doesn't matter if you're in a 1 meter, 2 meter, 4 meter. It all works the same. What you're going to do is you're going to have your foundation out. You can have it in zoom mode, in regular mode. It doesn't matter which mode you have it in. But you're going to hold control, and you're actually going to aim all the way to the corner here. And you're going to basically just try and get yourself on this corner. Now you can see it's straight, perfect with the other foundation. What you're going to do is you're going to rotate with your mouse the desired corner. You're going to rotate it 1 tick if you want to do 5 degree, 2 tick if you want to do 10 degree, and so on. Obviously, you can go like this. I would not go sharper than 10 degrees. The rails tend to get confused as to where the corner is. It's really hard to center them as well. But when it comes to centering the rails, we'll show you that as well. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate it once, and this is our 5 degree. I'm going to hit the H key. It's a little bit hard while we're holding control, but you're going to hit the H key to lock it in place. Then you can let your fingers rest. And what you're going to do is you're going to nut. Now, the way this used to be is you used to have to build a foundation underneath this and then move it where you needed it. But since we're in 1.1 now, we can nudge this down with page down. Nudge it down just like that. And what you're going to do is you're going to nudge it to the inside of your corner, because this is the outside of your corner. Make sure you pick the outside of your corner. So if I'm going this way, I'm going to pick this side. And if I'm going to my left, I'm going to pick the opposite side, basically. So if I'm going to the right, I'm going to be on the left side. If I'm going to the left, I'm going to be on the right side. So that's very, very important. But yeah, you can hold control here. We're going to hit the H key, nudge it down 1. And then now we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then since I'm doing a dual rail, which requires 2 foundations, mine is in zoom mode, so I can click, drag it over, click, bam. And you can just keep doing this down, nudge it over 4, or up 4. And the cool thing is when you hold control on the next corner, the game remembers how many ticks that you've rotated, and you just keep doing that basically. Now if it goes weird on you, just rotate it back until it's only 1 tick for rotation. So, and you can do S bends like this. You can do all kinds of corners. But yeah, so then the other thing is, when you're building your rails, let's say this is the end, and you're gonna go straight from here like this. The way you want to build your rails, now you can build them on each corner, or you can build it like this as well. You can build to the edge, but when you're doing a 5-degree corner, in order to keep your rail in the middle of the foundation, like this, you want the starter portion of the rail, whether you're connecting it to a rail or just placing it, is you want to put it in the middle of the exact middle of the foundation. So exact middle of the foundation, and then your ending point to your ending track where it straightens out, exact middle, and you can see that it's perfectly rotated. Now, what I like to do just for safety is just kind of rotate it just once like that. So rotate it once, rotate it once. So as you can see here, we went from here, but you can see that this side is on the middle, exact middle of the foundation. I could take this and go all the way around. It might not, and it was perfect actually. I don't think we could go. You can go pretty long with these. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the middle, just rotate it once away and then once back. Perfect. And then you'll get a perfectly straight track from there. Used to have to build bracer tracks, but now that you can rotate the end of the track, you don't have to build bracer rails anymore, really. Unless you're doing intersections, that's the only difference there. Yeah, so that's basically how you get your corners started. We're going to go ahead and delete that because obviously I wasn't planning on it. That's why I put a 4-meter foundation here. And the reason I put a 4-meter foundation here is so I can take one of these. Whoops. Get this lined up. Yeah, and then what we'll do is we'll take out this because we don't need these. Now we're going to be really close to the ground here when coming up on this section. So. And if you did want to build the bracer track, you could obviously just pull it back and then pull it to there if that feels safer to you. That is perfectly fine. But yeah, that's how you build the 5-degree corners. And the 10-degree corners, like I said, are 2 connections. Now, when you're doing 10-degree corners, you're going to have to push your track out further. Let's see. We can do that over here. Just a quick little demonstration. Just a quick little demonstration. So let's say we go from here. I'm going to use, let me put this just in default mode. Let's say we go to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, because it's a 4-meter. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was 1 tick. Whoops. I already screwed it up. My bad. So for a 10-degree curve, wait for this autosave to freeze our game. There we go. And then wait for it to unfreeze our game. There we go. 1, 2. So that's a 10-degree corner. And get it level. About 4 over 4. And see, it remembers the number of ticks. So it keeps a memory on that, which is really nice. Which is, I was going to get rid of that tree, but I'm like, we won't worry about it. That should be enough for that demonstration. Okay, now if we try to pull our... Now this might be close enough that it might look in the center. But you're definitely going to want to go out. So let's go to the center. Starting track. Now we're going to pull this around to the center of our ending track. You know what? It's perfectly in the way. Goodbye. Yeah, and then we're going to go to the center of this. Now, it will line up with the center for the most part. See, that's relatively centered. But as you get sharper and longer corners, maybe I didn't go long enough. That could be. I've had it to where it's like slightly towards the outside or towards the inside, something like that. Like, yeah, maybe I didn't go long enough. Sorry, I'm messing this up. Just from what I've experienced, the sharper you go, the further out towards the corner you have to go with your straight tracks. Like I said, maybe I just didn't do the long enough corner here. Oh, that one's not. There we go. And maybe it'll stay in the center. And it might. Maybe the center is where you need to be. They might have changed that. It's been a while since I've done this. But yeah, this is as sharp of the corner as I would go for, especially for a main rail line where your trains are going at max speed, essentially, or close to max speed. And we'll just ignore what I just said about being further out into the corner. Maybe if you got to go sharper than that, maybe it'll do that. But yeah, so for the most part, just half a meter then. And then from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build an intersection right on this piece, and we're going to go down that way. Because there's a bunch of coal down there, but at the same time, there's a shortcut we can take going up that hill, and that'll get us up out of that area. We can actually shortcut to another section of the map without having to go all the way out that way. As well as, like I said, there's some other stuff out there. There's also a factory that we want to build. I think it's on that cliff or maybe that cliff somewhere around there. There's some factories out there, but that we're going to be building. Yeah, that's the basic setup for that. Okay, next, moving on is going to be the poles for our bridge, because obviously we want this corner to match the rest of our bridge style. You're going to put this into default mode, and you're going to go right on the edge of each foundation like this. Obviously, we're going to rotate it like that. And we're going to go up 12 because that's the way it is, and then so on and so forth. We're going to go to the... You want to go to the... to this one here, I believe. Something like that. Yeah, because the next one's going to be... Yeah, okay. Duh. So basically, I'm going to the right side. You can go to the left side if you like. It doesn't really matter which side you go to, just as long as you stick with the side that you're on. The side of either the left foundation or the right foundation, right on the corner, is where I'm putting these. Yeah, I could blueprint these, but yeah, it's not worth it. The other thing we want to make sure of before we wait for this autosave, before we get too far into this bridge, is we want to make sure it's the right number of sections, and we want to build off of that. I actually did not count, but what we can quickly do is go from there, go up. Now these are just temporary. I'm not. These aren't going to be permanent. I'm just placing these because I want to see the rough sections. I could count them, but I'm too lazy. Oh, it'd probably help if I was in freeform mode. Yeah, freeform mode. The diagonals will do a diagonal angle, but they won't move within the 3D space. They're like the default mode. Oh, and look at that! I did get the right number of sections, so that's perfect. Okay. That's all I wanted to know. Let's make sure I had the right number of sections for our curve, because we ran into that before where we didn't have the right number of sections, and then it messed up the curve, and I had to completely rebuild it. So just wanted to make sure the right number of sections being from your bridge. You want to do a straight piece right after the bridge. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you want to do an even number counting the sections that connect to the bridge. You can see this is perfectly straight. It's not on a curve with the bridge. It's straight off the bridge, one foundation, and then we start curving. But yeah, now once you're happy with that, everything is where you need it, you're going to go back to default mode, and we're going to go over 16 meters because that's 2 foundations wide. And you're going to make sure you're at the top of each one of these poles. And this is going to determine where your other side is going to set. It's going to set further off from the center than you know, what you're used to, but or what it should be looking like. You'll see it'll look a little weird, but it actually works perfectly. Like I said, just as long as you were consistent with your foundation or placing the first pole on the foundations, you know, being on that side of the foundation, just stay consistent with either the left side or the right side. But you always want to do the outside of the corner first, and then we're going to drag this down 12 meters, and then do that. And just to make sure, what you can do is you can start the rotation up here so that you can get that perfectly square with the that beam up top there. Oh, did we mess this up? We sure did. Yeah, let's fix that. I was too busy babbling on to recognize. Now we're correct. Yeah, sometimes you make mistakes. Oops. Okay. Alrighty, and now that we've got the beams connected like that, we're going to go ahead and connect these up. Doing the truss style. So I'm going to connect to this because I know this beam connector is in the center of that foundation. But yeah, what you're going to do is you're going to go up to the top, and you're going to make sure that you aim for the top beam, not the beam down here, but aim for this top beam here. And then when you aim the next one, make sure it's not down here. You see how that's like all funky like that? That's because it's trying to connect to this angled beam. You actually want to connect up here instead. Then you're going to go down to the center, keeping that in freeform mode. My bad. That one didn't matter because that one was straight. And again, same with this here. If you're having a hard time, just go up here to where it's looking perfectly square with your straight beam, and then hit the H key and then drop it down. Drop it down one, and you can connect it up like that as well. But yeah, then just aim for the top beam, aim for that top beam again, go down to the bottom, aim for the center of that. Wait for your autosave to freeze your game. H key, nudge it down. You can also put the beam connectors there too, but you need to remember that you'll have to remove them in a little bit. Nudge that down. We're just trying to stay as consistent as possible. Oh, this one you have to go from the, if you have a beam connector there, you have to go from that beam connector. It's like that. Okay. So now that you got that, now you do the inside, and it's the same on the inside as well. Alrighty, so now that you have all of that on the inside and the outside of your curve, now you can go ahead and start connecting the top beams. So I'm going to go from here, just going to snap to that, and you're going to aim for freeform. You're going to aim for the beam on the center. Now they are going to clip a little bit. It's just the way they are. But you can also do this, connect it. The other thing you can do, of course, is you can do beam connectors. But like I said, you can't put too many beam connectors in because you can't go from beam connector to beam connector. So I'm just going to nudge that down, center. Nudge that down, center. Nudge that down, center. And it's okay if they clip a little bit. Yeah, it's since we've colored our beams as well, it matches. You can see I'm using the center post as my connection points for everything, because that'll keep my beam connection, since we're doing in freeform mode. That'll keep everything consistent all the way across. It won't look weird. Oops. It won't look weird when it's all done. Okay. So yeah. Now we'll do that on the top as well. You won't connect these two because this is between bridges, but we will connect. These ones are a lot easier because all you got to do is just make sure that your next connection does that. You can see how it's like pointing outwards. If it points inwards too, it's just as long as it's square on the top beam, not on the beam next to it, the one you just placed. Yeah. And as far as we go, and then we do that on the inside of the corner, top and bottom. Alrighty, so now once you've got the top and your bottom rails for your beam or for your bridge done, now we need to do the cross sections. Cross sections are pretty easy. You just got to kind of make sure that you know where you're aiming towards. What I'll do is, since the inner sides are a lot harder to connect to properly, what we're going to do is we're going to aim either like this or like that, or yeah, aim like that. Excuse me, a little bit of a hiccup there. Try your best to aim towards the beam that's going across the bridge, as well. Now, what you can do, and this absolutely works, is you can put a beam connector on this to try and line it up, but it's much easier if you do that. Just remember 17.889. Let's see if the next one is like that. But like I said, I'm going to go from the inner side here so that I know I'm connecting properly. Oops, sorry, that was the wrong one. My bad. Okay, so you're going to go across two sections, not one. So it's going to be 22.118 right there. Okay, then we're going to go to this one. Picture's pointing outwards. 21.089. It might be a little bit different, I suppose. Yeah, so these are not going to be centered, just so you know. They're not going to be centered on the actual rail that goes across here, just because it's a corner. This side is shorter than this side, so your X is not going to be perfectly centered. That's just how this particular build is going to go. You might be able to, I suppose, I've never really tried, but you might be able to figure out a way to get it centered in there, but to me, it's just like, it's not really worth the effort. Come on, there we go. Whoops. There we go. Make sure I connect to, there we go. Perfect. Okay. And once again, drag it out and over to the edge piece. There we go. Okay, so now that we got that done, we can do our beam connectors now. Now you can do these however you like. There's no perfect answer to it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, so the main beams that I'm going to be using for my beam connectors is going to be the straight, perfectly straight up and down beams, the beams that go across, and the beams that go along with the corner. I'm never going to put beam connectors on these cross pieces or use them as a guide. So yeah, and if you have trouble trying to place them, as you can see, it's a little bit crazy trying to put it on that corner. what you can do is you go down one, hit the H key, nudge it up, and then you can go from there, and then that one, that one, that one. And then you do that on the inside as well. So put it down one where it's below where it needs to be, hit the H key, nudge it up to where it needs to be, and then you've got a perfectly straight one. Now these ones are going to overlap a lot more. It's okay if they overlap. Yeah, I'm using, like I said, I'm using the beams as a guide. What we can do is have them overlap like that, or we can nudge them out. What I might do is I might nudge these in, actually. Like that, and then nudge it in halfway, hold control, and then nudge it over so that it somewhat matches. Obviously, so you can see that one's halfway, but so yeah, we'll just continue that. That's the inside one, this is the outside one. Oh, and of course, beam connector down here. And then this side, a little bit easier. Go with this, nudge it up one there, one there, one there. Perfect. And one there. And then the same with the bottom side. I'm going to use the beam connector that's going straight up and down as my guide. Nudge it down to where it needs to be. And then put one there, put one there. But you don't have to put one going across the bridge because, well, there is no beam there. Of course. And then we'll freeze. 3, 2, 1, freeze. There we go. And then the same with this one. Obviously, this bottom side. We're going to nudge this one down. And we're going to put one there. Now, this one's going to allow you to put it there, but I'm going to hit H, and I'm going to nudge it over halfway. Bam. Bam. Same with this one. And these ones are a little easier to place, of course. There we go. And we're just going to do that to both the inside and the outside, get all of our beam connectors in place. That's a lot of beam connectors. Alright, so now that we've got all of the beam connectors in place, because you can clearly see there, the sun is arising. Sun is arising. We can go ahead and take our lights. Now these ones are going to go right in the middle. It's really hard to tell where the middle is, but I think it's roughly there. It's okay if these are, like I said, it's okay if these are offset. It's not gonna hurt anybody. There we go. Okay, so we'll put those all the way across, and then on our other beams, what we'll do is we'll go make sure we're. Yeah, that looks good. What I'm gonna do is I put it on the beam here. Oops. Well. Okay, so I put it. There we go. I put it on the beam here. I hit the H key to lock it in place. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold control and I'm gonna press forward. And it's going to nudge it inside of the actual, as you can see, it's inside of the actual H-beam, I-beam, whatever you want to call it. I call it I-beams where I come from, but that's okay. That's just what it is to us. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this catwalk. So this is a catwalk intersection. And just the normal one, not the others. And then I'm going to put it on top of this rail. And I hit the H key, nudge it over to where you can see where the corners are kind of aiming towards the pieces there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to nudge it down one, and that's it. As you can see it, and it's basically a little plate that kind of covers up the overlap. It's in default mode. Nudge that over to where it's in the same spot. And we just do that to all of these. Nudge down. Nudge over. As many sections as you have. Nudge it down, nudge it over. There we go. Now we got our little cross plates. Basically like real bridges where they have a little plate that kind of blocks the blocks where it's all connected. This actually looks pretty good though. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this sign here. So if you don't know how to set the sign, I'll actually it's a 2-meter sign. I'll show you how to set these signs with the little ring of light, essentially the little light ring, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to use the 2-meter. All the square ones are able to do this. The 5-meter, the 1-meter, or the 0.5 meter, the 1 meter, and the 2 meter. They're all able to do the ring. I don't know about all of them. I haven't used all of them in this manner. Hit the H key. What I'm going to do is I'm going to nudge it over 1, 2, 3, and then nudge it down. As you can see, it is hovering, so we're going to hold the control, nudge it back up. Basically, it's just half a meter off, and you can see it's still floating. And that's where this beam connector is in place. We're going to do the same thing with that one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to nudge it over, and then down. And it should be, if it's in the center of the sign, it'll come out like that. You just nudge it back up, or you just nudge it down half thing so it sticks like that. So now the light is connected to that. And we're going to do is I'm going to access this sign. And the first things first you're going to do is you're going to pick a color, which we're going to use white. That's going to be this bottom one. So whatever color you pick, this bottom one is the one you want to set that color to. We're going to select color. As you can see, it turned the outer border white because we picked white. These other ones are going to be black. So just take those to black, select the color. Then what you do is you're going to go to the icon, and you're going to go to backgrounds, and you're going to select this one here, which is none. Select the icon, and there you go. And then you're going to scroll down to the bottom to material settings, and you're going to go to emission strength 3 once our autosave places. And there you go. That's how you build these bridges. So, yep, we just do that to all the signs, and then we take our signs, and I'm going to put these as well. Put these on this side. Hold control, hit H, hold control, press forward 1 to slide it inside the beam, and you just do that to all of these, and then that'll be that. Alrighty then. So now once you have all of your lights in place, I'm going to do my little underglow thing. This one is, we get that started by doing this. I'm going to hit the zoom mode. Yep, right at that height. I mean, it'd probably be faster to do this, actually. Probably be safer to do this. Get our lights in place. I just aimed these towards the exact middle between the two foundations. Easy enough. Oh, whoops. That's right. So we drag... That's right. That's how I did this. Okay, so I drag this across here. Wait for my autosave to freeze me again. Yeah, so I just aim for the foundation. Zoom it across. Hit the H key. Nudge it up 1. That's right. Takes me a while to remember this type of stuff. And bam, we have our bridge corner. It matches the rest of this design. And it looks very, very good. Okay, so from here, I'm going to build out an intersection that goes off that way. And then that should be the end of this episode, I believe. Alrighty then, so finally got this in place here where I wanted to. I'm actually going to have to slope up slightly to go up and over this little rock. I have tried to snake between this rock, and it's just not working, unfortunately. So just had to go slope up with it. But I got my intersection built. I actually had to rebuild this corner a few times because, like I said, I was testing, trying to maneuver around those rocks. But yeah, unfortunately, we'll just have to go up a little bit with a single slope, and then that'll get us up and over that rock, and then we can continue on straight. Basically, I'm going to go all the way to that cliff edge there, just about, or right before this rock here. See this this pillar, that pillar that's sticking up into the ground there. We're going to go just before that, and then we're going to curve, and we're going to go this way. And actually, I'm going to go that way, and then go across the massive expanse there. We're going to expand across that with one of our bigger bridges that is able to span across that, and then we'll head over that way to connect up to there, and then that'll be the grasslands loop. as well. So that, I think that's a pretty good plan. I'm also going to take this. I'm going to go down there. I'm going to slope down to there, and then we'll slope back up and go that way. And we'll figure out a few different ways that we can connect certain things, and maybe we'll make it make a few routes that'll be shorter, so we can send some of those, like maybe the plastic trains or something, can end up going on this side of the map on the west side rather than the east side where all the traffic's at. Maybe we could make some shorter routes. We'll see what happens, but yeah, I think for now though, that's going to be it for this episode of Satisfactory. So next time we'll continue. We might build down this way a little bit. I might leave it as well. We'll probably leave it. But we're going to continue on this way and go to that rock and then go over. And that'll be Monday, of course. But yeah, once again, though, since today is Saturday, hopefully y'all have yourselves a great rest of your weekend. And I hope to see you back here on Monday as well. But unfortunately, like I said, that is going to be it. So I do hope you enjoyed. Oh, and before you go, I'd like to give a huge shout out and thank you to all of the investors you can see on your screen right now. Seriously, thank you. You guys are awesome. It is much appreciated. And until next time, I guess it's a goodbye.